we are currently just 10 levels away from the Canals, which we will be reaching today. Now, if you didn't watch last episode, we finally made it to Samurai Palace, and this is truly one of the best dungeons in the game, and we literally leveled up to level 91 that quickly. And something that of course happened was that we also did get a full set of green samurai mage armor, as I said we would do last episode. So yeah, this shouldn't be too difficult to beat, but we are on the very first boss. And dude, this guy looks so cool. And the area that he's in as well is so nice. Yeah, we're like inside of this samurai building. It's super cool. The bosses in this dungeon are definitely a huge step up from the underworld. Yeah, these guys are pretty difficult, especially if you're new to the game. Also, I love that you can like see the entire map from like this area. It is just such a cool dungeon. But boys, even with this gear, it might still be a close match, because I literally just keep dying over and over again. But boys, Canals, we will be reaching it today. And something that also happens once you're able to start playing Canals is that you can, number one, play boss raids, along with be able to craft Greg weapons. So yeah, hitting level 100 will open us up to a lot of different things, especially boss raids. I'll finally be able to use some like decent rings, which will allow us to passively heal. But we're on the second boss, the Ancient Golem Guardian. And this is what I mean, like all of the areas are so cool and they all have like a really nice set piece to them. To be honest, I'd say of all the bosses, this one is probably the most difficult, especially like that attack. But since we're using Skull Flames, we can kind of keep our range. But definitely when we hit Nightmare, we will have to switch to Illusion Blast, which is good in some ways because it will be like a speed spell that actually gives us a speed boost, but at the same time, it doesn't have as much range, so we have to play a little bit more risky. And yeah, I already have everything prepared in my inventory, but this might be risky. We only have 3 minutes left and we're not at the final boss. Also, we got like a level and almost a half of one in just a single game. Maybe the progression will actually be fast. But here we are on the final boss, Miyamoto. I don't know how to pronounce that second word, but this is arguably like one of the coolest looking bosses in the game, and especially his area is just even better. Really, the biggest tip I can give for these bosses in this dungeon is to definitely keep your range, especially for this one. All of them do like brutal close range attacks, and with that, he's dead. To get, oh my gosh, we got trash. Now, I mentioned that if we hit level 100, we would actually have a lot of possibilities opened up to us, such as of course boss raids and craftable weapons. But ladies and gentlemen, if you look to the left of me, you will see that they are about to release a new Hella Awakens boss raid in approximately 28 minutes. So boys, we have to reach level 100 so we can play it today. So man, we got a lot coming. We got Canals and the boss raids. It's gonna be a crazy episode. And yeah, I'm not gonna talk too much about the update, just because by the time I release this video, it would have already been long out. But to be honest, the idea seems very, very cool. Also, bro, I am actually so trash at this dungeon. How am I dying on the first group of mobs? That is actually embarrassing, bro. But what I can of course talk about is how the last boss raid really went. I think for solo players, it did actually bring kind of a challenge. But if you had a team, bro, I swear that stuff turned into AFK Simulator. Literally, like, everyone just stands in one position and just mashes their spells. There is literally no skill required. So I don't know, maybe this one will actually require you to like move around and dodge the attacks. Also, we got Greg in one of the most awkward spots possible. Yeah, our Greg luck is finally up. And also, oh my, yo, look at that damage. That is most definitely way above a 2 cycle. Ooh, we got purple mage helm. Yo, that is actually a W drop. Yeah, I'll be sure to upgrade that. That is actually really solid. This dungeon I definitely need to be a lot more careful on, because truly it is quite a bit harder. For the first few dungeons, I could kind of play just casually and not really have to think about what I was doing. But I think that's about to change. And especially in Canals, once we reach that, I gotta lock in. And also, we leveled up and died at the exact same time. And boys, in just a single level, we'll be able to use Illusion Blast, which will be our very first speed spell of the series. And one thing I kind of haven't talked about is the Canals. Because keep in mind, that's kind of like what we're doing in this episode. And in my personal opinion, Canals is arguably one of the better dungeons in the game. However, it really is kind of annoying with the very small area you have to dodge the monsters, and also the monster speeds. Like, they run really quick. However, I think the theme is one of the best in the game, and it should be a very exciting dungeon to reach. But after that is Ghastly Harbor, which is arguably even better. That dungeon is crazy. I personally like that dungeon more than Samurai Palace. So yeah, just to recap, the things we'll be doing in this episode is playing the boss raids, also playing Canals, and of course using Illusion Blast for the very first time. Truly, this is only the start of the difficulty in this series, but I know I'm capable of doing it. I say that and I just, oh my, like, how many times am I gonna die on this dungeon, bro? And we're once again on the final boss. To be honest, I think what I'm gonna do once I get Illusion Blast is on difficult bosses such as this one, I will probably just switch to Skull Flames, as Illusion Blast is a very close range spell. And when he does attacks like that where you have to kind of stay far away, it is much better to use a long range spell. And with that, he should be dead. To get a helmet that's already worse than what I got from Greg. Okay. And speaking of Greg, we can craft our first legendary weapon. Oh, I didn't even realize it, but it's actually a level 80. To be honest, I thought level 100 was the requirement. But yeah, we need a lot more materials. But let me go and upgrade the helmet that I got from Greg, which is of course this purple mage helmet. And this time I'm definitely gonna save my daily reward for Canals, because no chance we're gonna be able to beat it. And I have like literally no Canals gear. I only have nightmare stuff. But a lot of you viewers of the last series might have noticed that I started making a lot longer episodes. Like in the last series I was doing like 12 to 20 minute videos, and now in this one I'm doing like 22-minute to 30-minute episodes. So yeah, let me know what you feel about like the longer format of Noob to Godly. Do you guys like longer episodes? Because me personally, I really like it because we can actually get a lot of progression done, such as making it to an entirely new dungeon. Because in the last series we reached Samurai Palace at like episode 10, and then this one we did it in like 4 episodes. So yeah, we're literally just speedrunning this series. Bro, I might stop being glass cannon because I'm tired of just dying over and over again. Yeah, I may just invest some points into stamina. This is truly brutal. Although, even as a glass cannon, we do not do as much damage as I'd ideally want. So yeah, maybe with the Illusion Blast we'll do more, and we're just like almost a sliver of XP away. Really, I do think that this dungeon heavily inspired Yokai Peak. Although this is kind of like a brighter themed version of Yokai Peak. And for me personally, I like the brighter dungeons a lot more. But yeah, like look at all of the stuff you could see in just like a single area. I've probably mentioned this before, but what I think a good dungeon does is it allows you to see like all of the different areas you've been to from different perspectives. And these are things that you probably don't think about on first playthrough of a dungeon. But as you continue to do them over and over again, you kind of appreciate like the minute details. And with that, we leveled up to level 93, which means we can now use Illusion Blast. And look at that spell, yo. Dude, this animation is one of the coolest in the game. And also our damage is really decent. That is above decent. We do like 1/4 of their health per every tick. And a little correction to something I said last episode. I mentioned that we used Flame Cyclone in our last progression. No, we did not. That is a blatant lie. We did use Illusion Blast because we were a mage for like a tiny part of that series. But I think we eventually switched to spells like Mighty Leap. And if you guys don't know what Flame Cyclone is, pretty much that enemy over there uses Flame Cyclone. Yeah, that right there. And it's actually brutal. Why does his Flame Cyclone move faster than my Illusion Blast? Bro, I swear they're the exact same spell, but for different classes. I might just stick to Phantom Flames for this boss. Like, I don't know if this is good with Illusion Blast. But with that, we won the dungeon and got literally the exact same thing we got another round. Are you kidding me? So apparently this thing like reveals in a single minute. I'm waiting, bro. 5 seconds left. And let's see what this is. Okay, it's like this blue night thing or whatever. Wait, does that mean the update's out? Okay, I guess I kind of just got scammed because it's literally not here. But ladies and gentlemen, we are so close to nightmare mode and also very, very close to being able to play boss raid. And if you haven't watched the last series, the main purpose of boss raids in that series was pretty much to just get a bunch of extra items. I kind of utilized it like it was a daily reward system, as playing any tier of the boss raids would give you items from your specific dungeon. And if you haven't done that already, I would highly recommend that you guys do that, because you get like 3 daily rewards a day. You just have to play like the easiest tier. And we leveled up to level 94, one more level. And I didn't mention this yet, but we will also be trading for a legendary, because you know, that's kind of implied. Although the legendary that we have from Underworld is kind of low pot, so it might be a little bit difficult to actually try to find a trade. This boss especially, you gotta keep your range, bro. He is not good if you stay close to him. Although I'm kind of forced with Illusion Blast. But I swear, I cannot appreciate this map enough. Like, I know I keep saying this in the video, but every single area of this entire dungeon looks so well made. Like, bro, I'm dying because I'm focusing on the map. But man, it should be like next game to where we level up. And since we got a pretty good set from Nightmare, it should be pretty easy. Honestly, probably easier than Insane Mode. And we got Greg. To be honest, I didn't even know he could spawn here. I think this dungeon actually gives obsidian when you kill Greg, and this is probably the best farm for that material. Samurai Palace, especially if you just go before the first boss, you can really gather up a lot of materials. And what's nice is having a speed spell. Walking these marathons to get from place to place is not as annoying. To be honest, I feel like Underworld would have heavily benefited with speed spells. Also, we got 2 of the exact same thing. And this boss even more is just brutal to be close to. I swear, they designed the spells to make the bosses extremely difficult. And while this is just the beginning of good speed spells, it's gonna get a lot better as we progress. Spells like Pulse Waves, Whirlwind. Wait, what is it? It's like the tornado spell from Canals. There's a lot of good speed spells to come. And me personally, I think speed spells were the single best update they could have ever done, because it made playing through this game a lot more enjoyable, and it just made it much more smooth. Like doing the dungeons were much more enjoyable because you could kind of like zip through them. Also, it added a new level of strategy as to how you time your abilities, because especially on bosses, you have to time your abilities when they're about to attack, so that you actually have the speed to be able to dodge it. And that idea would definitely be translated to spells like Enhanced Inner Focus and Enhanced Inner Rage, where you use that attack right before they do something big. And with that, the boss has been slain, and we also got a spell called Hand Cannon. I'm a little bit scared that we won't level up this round, so you know, I'm kind of crossing my fingers. I think we should be chilling for this one, since we didn't get our level up until like midway through last dungeon. And man, Nightmare is gonna be fun. And of course, the cosmetic for this dungeon will probably not drop, but if we dropped it, it would be kind of cool. The cosmetic for this one, I think, is like this kind of mushroom guy wearing a pretty nice like white outfit. It looks pretty cool. However, I would definitely say the Canals one exceeds it heavily. And we got back-to-back Greg. Hey, I'll take it, bro. Dude, I will take Greg any day of the week. And getting craftable weapons in this series should be a little bit easier, because I think the Greg update in the last series dropped when we were around in like, I think, Ghastly Harbor or the Canals, so we didn't actually get to like collect materials, but we got it from the very start in this one. And with that, he should be dead to get, oh my gosh, how many times? Bro, how many times am I gonna get mage gear? Like the trashiest greens ever. Yeah, what was I thinking? We will definitely level up this round. We are like nearly at a level already. If we make it past the second boss without leveling, I probably will finish the dungeon. However, since it's insane, it really has no incentive to play. Really, insane mode is so trash after you leave it, which is why many people just play like the previous dungeon in nightmare mode. Like for example, people at my level would just be playing Underworld Nightmare. Also, speaking of Underworld, we do need to get the Easter egg from that dungeon, and also like the 2 legacy version. But to be honest, this episode is already like filled with a bunch of stuff to do, so I'm gonna do that in the future. Boys, I know I keep putting it off, but like, bro, this series has been so busy. But this is like top 1 fastest Noob to Godlies ever. I don't think anyone has ever reached like Samurai Palace in 4 episodes. Bro, if I die again, oh my gosh, how many times am I literally gonna die in this dungeon? We're nearing Nightmare. I actually have to be like good at this game. The time for noobery is over, and we're on the final boss. And this will be the last boss we have to face in insane mode. But really, I'm more so excited for Canals. Canals is gonna go crazy. I absolutely love every part of that dungeon, especially the bosses. The bosses in Canals are like 100 times better than the ones in Samurai Palace. And Canals really just has its own identity as this very dark kind of city dungeon, which is an idea I really want to see revisited, just as like Samurai Palace to Yokai Peak. Imagine like a large metropolis dungeon. But with that, we leveled up to level 95 and got the same green. Oh my gosh, I have like 5 of these green armors. I don't need it, bruh. And as tempting as it is to go and collect my daily, we must wait until Canals. But let's go and equip our set. And ladies and gentlemen, is this drip? Like, look at this set, bro. This weapon is especially long. This is like one of the most interesting weapons I've ever seen. But this set literally looks fire and is full purple. Yeah, let's go and play Nightmare mode for the very first time. And as you can see, we're in Nightmare. Yeah, this weapon especially, it stands out quite a bit. But checking out our damage, we definitely do less than we did in Insane, but it's still beatable. I'm surprised, to be honest. I thought we would do a lot more. And of course, once we hit level 96, we will go and trade for a legendary, which is like the Sakura Greatstaff or something like that. And arguably like one of the coolest looking legendaries in the game. That stuff really looks nice. Also, I mentioned like last episode that we were getting extra item and the Robux still have not pended. So it'll be next episode that I can like pretty much guarantee we'll have extra item. And I wanted to get it early in this series so we could maximize our good drops. That's also the reason why I have a luck boost. And speaking of luck boost, we still have like 95 hours left on that stuff and 93 on the XP boost. So boys, we still got a long while. To be honest, I see no chance that we ever run out of like luck boost or XP boost. That is just an absurd amount of time, but should be enough to last us through the series for sure. Really, out of all of the dungeon armors in this game, I would say that this armor is definitely like one of the worst. I'm not trying to hate on the armor or anything, but I think because all of the Nightmare armors look literally the exact same, it kind of takes away from it. In my personal opinion, the Insane armor design should have been the Nightmare ones, whereas the Nightmares should have been the Insane, just because the Insane armor looks so much better, especially the Guardian. The Guardian armor is just beyond belief. Truly, like for most dungeons, the Insane armor is better than a lot of the Nightmare pieces, but it's sad because Insane just has no grind incentive. But just maybe will we drop like a collectible piece? And unlike the tier 2 stuff, the tier 1 stuff looks beautiful. Tier 1 armor in this dungeon is some of the best. I know I keep saying that, but Guardian, Warrior, Mage, all of it looks insane. I don't know, maybe I'm just yapping, but it definitely beats out the Canals tier 1s, which literally just look like formal clothing. And also, we're already like over halfway to leveling up, and we haven't even made it to the final boss. I've probably mentioned it a million times already, but the XP will slow down. Things won't always be this fast, so it's good to appreciate the moments where the leveling is fast. Man, I wish I had extra item. But boys, maybe if we get something good, we will try a hardcore solo. Since the last dungeon we were actually able to do on hardcore was King's Castle. Although of all dungeons, this one might be like the hardest one to hardcore solo. Like this Flame Cyclone guy moves like freaking Sonic, bro. He moves so fast. I swear, the NPCs in this game move like 10 times faster than the player, using a speed spell. Really, the ideal position to be when facing this boss is of course behind him, because the guys kind of like spawn over there. But if those guys spawn even close to you, you are screwed. And with that, we got, yo, okay. Wait, no, that's a Guardian helmet. Oh my gosh, bro, are you kidding me? I actually thought I got a Warrior piece. But bro, I'm not gonna lie, I was just kind of like off camera grinding, and we did actually level up to level 96. So after this game, we're gonna attempt to trade for the Sakura Greatstaff, so you can use it for like our last 2 or 3 level ups. And then we'll be on the Canals, which will honestly be great. But what is not great is me constantly dying. I swear, these guys shoot in like a millisecond, bro. You have no time to really read the attack. Maybe I'm just complaining, but also we leveled up to level 97. Also, I don't even know what are these guys doing? This guy is like skating on the ground. I swear, a lot of these like older dungeons are extremely buggy, and I really think that Voldex should go in and try to fix them. Especially Steampunk Sewers. That dungeon is really bugged. To be honest, of all buggy dungeons, I would say Volcanic Chambers has it the worst. That dungeon, you can't even like see half of the map with the new Roblox update, and it just absolutely guts the entire map, which is a little bit sad because it is a very nice looking dungeon. Man, I'm a little bit scared for Canals. That dungeon's about to be extremely difficult. That dungeon is like 10 times harder than this one, especially the bosses. However, if we play carefully, we should be chilling. Yeah, I'm excited to be holding a legendary because our damage will be much higher, and that could potentially translate over to the Canals. However, obviously I will have to trade for a decent Canal set, and also probably some spells. Yeah, even this boss has kind of became easy. I'm starting to get kind of decent at this dungeon, and we're on the final boss. Man, almost a no-death run of this boss. Maybe a no-death run if I don't die to this stupid flame cyclone guy. And we got a taunting ability, nice. But I suppose we will go and trade for the legendary. But boys, as for usual, we're going to be trading for a Sakura Greatstaff. And I'll of course skip to when we find the trade. And I found a player who's offering the Sakura Greatstaff. So yeah, I'll offer this like underworld legendary along with a bunch of purples, which should be a decent offer. And yeah, we got the trade, so I guess he thought it was decent too. But with that, we now have the Sakura Greatstaff, which actually has a level 97 requirement, so we're right on to be able to use it. And it's I mean, it looks pretty cool. It's definitely one of the less detailed legendaries. However, I still really like it. It has kind of like a minimalistic design. But boys, let's go ahead and make it to the Canals. Boys, let's see how much damage the Sakura Greatstaff actually does. Yeah, just like I thought, I do like a fourth of their health per tick. But with this legendary, we should be able to just like zip through this dungeon. To be honest, I'm kind of getting bored of this dungeon. The progression has kind of gotten to a point where dungeons kind of feel like a stretch after nightmare mode, but I'm very prepared to reach Canals. And also, we got Greg. Our Greg RNG is some of the best I've seen in this entire series, and we do a surprisingly decent amount of damage. Wait, will I actually one-cycle this guy? Okay, definitely not. Let's see what we get from defeating Greg. Of course, bro, of course we get trash. One of the main things I'm excited for when hitting Canals is getting better speed spells, such as I think like the tornado spell. I forgot exactly what it was called. That moves like 10 times faster than Illusion Blast. And speed is like one of the most important things for Canals, as the enemies move very quickly, and it'll make the dungeon feel a lot less tedious, because long dungeons without speed spells are some of the most brutal ones in the game. Man, we are close to leveling. Yeah, what I like a lot more about Canals is the bosses kind of accommodate for the low range speed spells, and they're not as punishing as the ones from Samurai Palace. And we leveled up to level 98, which means we are just 2 levels away from the Canals, which is a very, very dark dungeon. Also, I'm not gonna lie, this update might not come in this episode, because yeah, I kind of have like the Dungeon Quest updates tab just like on my other monitor, and it doesn't seem like they're releasing it soon. So boys, we might not be able to play the new boss raid until next episode, which to be honest is fine because like we already got a bunch of stuff going. But boys, I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited to play this in Noob to Godly. It's gonna be pretty fun, and taking on the challenge of doing tier 1, because that is like where we'll pretty much begin. Yeah, I swear our progression is perfectly timed with the updates. The second we reach boss raids, the update comes. But this is the final boss. And of course, we will get, yeah, trash. Bro, like how much trash am I gonna get? No good luck whatsoever. But this should be our final game before Canals. And man, I'm excited. We also did level up to level 99, and we're very close to reaching it. And yeah, it's truly been a long grind, and I'm very excited to be leaving this dungeon. But something that's kind of sad is that Canals is the last dungeon with wave defense. I haven't really utilized it too much just because I want to get Greg, but it is something to keep in mind. But after this round, I'm going to probably go and get a good set, get some decent spells, and we will begin our level 100 plus journey. And it's crazy that we'll be halfway to Yokai Peak. Obviously, this is the much easier half, and not even really half, it's more like a fifth of the way, considering the progression slows heavily down later in the series. But I'm prepared to face what challenges are to come and prove that you can do it as a solo player. Well, I already kind of proved it, but prove it again, but except mage. And also, of course, play wave defense. But I think if I kill this boss, I should get the level. Yup, just like that, we are now level 100. And we unlocked the cosmetic title called Master. And of course, since it's Nightmare, we will finish the run. Man, it's really nice seeing those triple digits. I really look like a pro. Yeah, we've easily passed up our other 2 Noob to Godly series. What's kind of crazy is that this is our 4th Noob to Godly Godly series on the channel. Yeah, we did one a very long time ago with all of like the older dungeons, and we only made it to like Winter Outpost Nightmare. And then of course the other unfinished series is Noob to Godly with everything, which I definitely won't finish. Like, I see no way I would ever finish that series. Yeah, Noob to Godly is kind of just like this channel's identity. I guess Noob to Godly and guides. Yo, I wonder what this dungeon looks like in performance mode. Oh my gosh, what happened to my FOV? Yo, what? The dungeon looks fine, but my FOV is really weird. Also, the lighting is... what the frick happened? Yeah, performance mode removes like all of the shadows. I don't think my FOV changed. I think it just really goofed up the map. I really don't think that they went in and like simplified all of the textures for performance mode, but they definitely made a pretty decent performance mode that doesn't really take away too much from the experience. And man, this is the final Samurai Palace, and I'm really not taking it for granted. Samurai Palace in the last series was one of my favorite dungeons to progress through, but we must move on to bigger and better things. Oh my gosh, why at the very end am I getting just spawn killed? Dude, just let me kill you, Miyamoto. Alright, well, Miyamoto is now dead, and that was our final game just to get a taunting ability. That's a little bit unfortunate. But boys, let's go and collect our daily reward, and maybe we'll get some good Canals items. Wow. All warrior weapons, and none of them are even good. Bro, are you actually kidding me? Like, where's my 10% rare drop chance, or 5% Yeah, I don't remember them actually, like, showing the percentages before. I think this is actually, like, something they legally have to do. I'm not, like, a lawyer or anything, but since you can buy daily reward refreshes, it is kind of a form of gambling, which I think means that they legally have to disclose the odds of actually getting, like, good items. But yeah, I kind of went on, like, a little yap fest. Let's go and trade for a better set. From Canals, of course. And we're back with a semi-decent Canals set. Yeah, it is unfortunately only green. However, the weapon is purple along with 2 new spells. But yeah, enough yapping. Let's go and play Canals for the very first time. And boys and girls, after so long, we finally made it to Canals. Now, I do have to play a little bit carefully because these guys move really quick. Also, oh my, yo, we one-cycle the mobs. Yo, this set is insane. What? I'm happy with that damage. Oh my gosh. Dude, I was not expecting to one-cycle the mobs. But boys, look at this map. This map actually looks insane. And we're already on the first boss, the Mage Overlord. And yeah, this dungeon is absolutely amazing, bro. This looks so cool. Look at all of like the dark buildings around that area. Definitely one of the most unique dungeons for its time. Really embracing a different theme than all of the other ones. Yeah, truly, this is one of my favorite dungeons in the game. I really like it. Also, you can see like the moon in the background. I think this dungeon's supposed to represent like a middle-aged society, you know, back in like the industrial age and stuff like that. To be honest, I don't know what I'm yapping about. I literally just died. Okay. But our damage is so good. Like, we can literally just slack off and still easily win. Man, I'm happy to be doing a lot more damage. We're already on the second boss, the Guardian Overlord. One thing I really like about these bosses is that they are very, very simple in the areas that they give you. You know, they're all kind of just on the map, and there's no really like crazy set piece next to them. And that's something I like. I really like their simplicity. Like this guy, he's just on like a street corner, you know? Also, this dungeon introduced safe zones, which would be heavily utilized, and I'm about to... okay, I nearly just died there. But our damage is honestly baffling. And also, we could come back to keeping our range. We don't have to get really close with Illusion Blast. Yeah, in Samurai Palace, I would have never even dreamed to do this much damage. And of course, let's get our like daily screenshot. And yeah, to those of you who are wondering why I take screenshots like every time I get into a new dungeon, I just use them for community posts to kind of like hype up the next episode. Also, this spawn placement, oh my gosh, I spawned there and I have to walk through here to those monsters there. That is brutal. But I can't even be mad because of this view. Truly, like, there are some very cinematic areas in this dungeon. And honestly, this rock spell might be better. Also, no, I died. That means I'm gonna spawn like 80 miles away. That is very unfortunate. Bro, I've been like trolling this entire dungeon and dying like 50 billion times. We might lose. And if I lose, that is entirely my fault because I have the best set possible. Okay, maybe we're gonna lock into a slight extent. This Ice Needle spell especially has so much range, and it also does like an insane amount of damage. It does like 75% of their health. These two spells synergize so so well because I can use the ice needles to do like 75% and then finish them off with like the rock spell. Really great combo and honestly works extremely well. But that right there is the final boss room area, and we've really come so far in this series. In just 5 episodes, we've already made it to level 100, got into Canals, and in this episode beat it. Well, if I don't absolutely sell on the Warrior Overlord. And this guy's in a cool area. He's kind of in like this street alley way. It's pretty nice. Also, he makes me get this bubble. I really don't know what the bubble does, so I might just like not collect it. I've never actually seen what happens if you don't collect it. Alright, if I don't kill him when he does the bubble, what's gonna happen? Okay, so if you don't collect the bubble, he just kills you. Okay. Probably should have known that. And with that, the Warrior Overlord has been defeated, and we... Oh, wow. Yo, that's insane. What? Okay, I forgot that I'm not a warrior. That would have been a godsend if I was a warrior. But I have episode 6 on the screen for you guys, so definitely go check it out, because we will be playing the new boss raid. But for now, I'll see you guys later.